idea for this piece was essentially to bring together and bring back together the Black and Jewish communities at the end of the civil rights movement.
The 60s, especially by 1969, I just think of it as an explosive, volatile time where King, for example, really saw love and brotherhood, but also integration and access as goals that were worthwhile and attainable. Some began to wonder if the road we were going down could possibly ever be successful.
At this point in our history, there was a lot of friction in the communities.
A feeling of hostility where once they had worked together for civil rights and felt that they had a common understanding, a common cause, and that was being fragmented at that time.
By the late 1960s, Dave Brubeck really felt that civilization was in crisis, and he needed to become involved in a much more direct way.
Brubeck writes Gates of Justice as a kind of a call to find our better selves. So I find it not accidental that in the midst of all of this unrest, he writes this piece that at the center of it is the idea of justice and God.
The Gates of Justice is a cantata. It's in 12 movements, and it features 2 soloists. We have one tenor soloist, who is typically a Jewish cantor-style singer, and then we have a baritone soloist whose line has a lot of blues-inflected notes and was originally written for a Black baritone to sing. The role of the baritone was to sort of take these texts that are coming from the Bible, that are coming from Hillel, from Martin Luther King Jr., from spirituals, to take these texts and really make them applicable to modern day life and make the audience think kind of self-reflectively.
And so he uses the cantoral traditions as well as traditions from the spirituals and from the blues and jazz, and he kind of puts them all in the pot together for really a very, very interesting, I think, kind of synthesis of different cultural traditions.
Movement 10, Brubeck is really playing with juxtaposition. You hear all of these very different styles of music just slammed right up next to each other. He is showing the strengths of multiculturalism, of what happens when we can bring together different musical traditions into the same piece.
Brubeck wasn't simply trying to express kind of Black traditions through jazz and gospel and blues. If you look at the whole of the Gates of Justice, there are references to Latin American traditions, there are references to classical 20th century composing techniques, and I think that goes to his larger goal that we are one people. Our power is understanding that oneness, and I think he literally wrote it into the music.
I think the most moving part of Gates of Justice is movement 5, where the baritone is singing, "Lord, when will the ill winds change? Lord, what will tomorrow bring?" It's really a questioning movement. There's something sort of undescribable about the emotional effect that it has.
We had a friend from New Orleans that when things got tough, she'd say, "Lord, Lord, what will tomorrow bring?" And so I said that. And Iola added, "Today I felt an arrow stinging in a wound so deep my eyes refused to weep." What will tomorrow bring?
Gates of Justice plays a really important role. They are referred to by Brubeck as the choir of unheard millions. So they're a little bit like a backdrop or like a Greek chorus. It's sort of where the audience is meant to imagine themselves and to picture the choir and therefore sort of be part of the work itself.
My father and mother had a very deep social conscience, and racial prejudice and ethnic prejudice has no place in the universe of justice, which is part of the reason why it's called the Gates of Justice. They wanted to create a piece that would make people think about that and hopefully move everyone closer to that goal.
I think the message of love and brotherhood is always relevant, that truth and justice doesn't have to happen in the streets with someone with a fist up. One can promote the idea of love, brotherhood, and justice and social justice on the concert stage.
We're at a time when this world could disappear on us unless we really get down to believing in the original meaning of all the great religions and the brotherhood of man, and realizing that man is good